So hey guys, I'm going to be doing a little video here in the garage today. It's terrible weather outside, freezing rain, and yeah, it's that time of year where it's time to do garage stuff. So I wanted to do a couple projects here in the garage today. Not really mountain bike related, but sort of, because it's related to my garage that I work on my mountain bikes in. So that's the relation. So I wanted to build first is a workbench to sit out in front of me here. You can't see on the camera, but basically, well, let me back up and I'll show you kind of my full garage area, get an idea of what I'm looking at here. So just give you a better idea of what I'm looking at here. I wanted to build a bench out in front of me here. Thinking I can use a stool like I have here and sit behind the bench, maybe to do product reviews, that sort of thing. So that's sort of the first idea, was to make a bench to do like a workbench that I can do product reviews on, set up a laptop for live streams, that sort of thing. And the second thing I want to do is do something with this top of my workbench, my current workbench here that I do a lot of my work on. It looks terrible. I've actually, here, I'll show you here on the camera. Yeah, it's just not been very good with this MDF tabletop that it came with. Really soaked up all stains. I've actually even flipped it already once. If I just show the other side, is even worse. So yeah, there's what the other side looks like. So I bought a new tabletop that I'm gonna cut and stain to replace that. So that's part 2 of what we're gonna be working on today. So just wanted to say, I don't know anything about woodworking. It is not my strong suit, and basically I've watched Seth's bike hacks, and that's about my knowledge of woodworking, so just enough to be dangerous. So I got started on this yesterday, bought the supplies that I'm gonna need, bought a couple table tops that are already made. I just need to stain them and cut the one to the size of the workbench there. So I got started on that yesterday, so let's take a look, GoPro hyperlapse style. So based on my research, a sort of bar height table or bench or bar, whatever you want to call it, should be about 42 inches off the ground. That's sort of standard height for that. So based on those sort of calculations, I just made some notes on an envelope here because I don't have anything else to write on. Super duper high class here. So I'm thinking if I make the legs about 41 inches tall, and then the tabletop itself is about 1 inch, so that should give me about 42 inches high for the bar, bench, whatever, workbench height. The tabletop itself is going to be 48 inches wide by 20 inches deep. That's going to be the top of the workbench. So I'm going to basically have 4 legs on that. Based on just kind of looking at some pictures of workbenches online, I'm just going to make sort of 2 boxes to go around it. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. I think it'll show up easier when I actually start doing it. I hope in my head it all makes sense, and I'm basically just writing down some notes here on what I think I need for measurements of the pieces of wood that I need to cut. So let's go cut some wood. So like they say, measure once, cut twice. Wait, no, measure twice, cut once. That's our motto for today. What I'll probably do is cut one of these, and then I'll use it as sort of the template for the other 4 to make sure they're all the same, and to make sure my measurements are the same. I'll just cut the first one and then base the other 3 off of this cut one. Okay, so I have the 4 pieces of wood cut for the legs, hoping they're pretty close to the same length or height. We will see now. So based on my calculations of this thing being, the tabletop being 48 by 20 inches deep, and taking into account the boxes I'm going to make, so I'm going to need to make some cross pieces, I guess, some cross pieces across the front and back of the bench that'll sort of make a box. So I'm going to make that the same width as the top. So I'm going to need 4 pieces that are basically 48 inches. So I have the 4 legs. Now I'm going to make the 4 sort of outside edges of the box to build the base for it. Okay, so I've made sort of the outside. These are going to be the outside edge of sort of the box that I'm building to make the frame for this workbench. So basically I want to make sure the outside of this box is 20 inches. So I'm going to put a piece in here, across there, and that piece I will make 17 inches because a 2x4 is actually only 1.5 inches wide. Anyways, so we'll make these, we'll make 4 17-inch pieces to go across here. All right, so I got all the pieces I think to start making the boxes. We got 4 outside pieces, 4 inside pieces, and the 4 legs. So let's start putting this together and hoping for the best. I will say that this doesn't need to be perfect because this is just a workbench for the garage, so don't need to be super duper awesome, but I know you guys are probably, there's some people out there probably cringing at what I'm doing, but like I said, I am an amateur at this. So I'm just trying to make something that's half decent to accomplish what I'm looking at doing. So the ideal with this now is that the legs will kind of go up through here, like so. There'll be one down near the bottom and then one at the top, right underneath the top, the workbench top. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to make this other box down about 8 inches from the bottom, and that'll be, so then I'll flip this over and the top is actually going to sit on this. It's actually upside down right now. Okay, so now we'll flip this over and hope everything is decent and it's okay. Well, it's not wobbly. That's good, and it's reasonably level. We're gonna say that's level enough for a garage. I don't know. I think it's close enough for me for what I'm doing here. So I might get some rubber feet or something to go on the bottom of this just so I can maybe level it out a little bit better. It's pretty close, probably good enough for what I want to do here, but it is maybe a little bit off. But for a ghetto, super ghetto garage workbench, it's all right. So this is going to be the top of it. It's still a little tacky because I've been staining it the last couple days, but this is going to sit on top of that. I just need to figure out how I'm actually going to do that now. All right, so this is kind of what I'm envisioning now. Now I got a nice tabletop in front of me. I can do some videos, product reviews, put stuff down on this as I'm talking to you guys out there on the camera. So what I'm thinking to hook these up, I got these little brackets here. You guys can see them there. This is what I'm thinking, hoping to put these up underneath the tabletop to secure them, to secure the tabletop onto the top of the bench. So let's see if that works. So this is basically how I will secure the tabletop onto the top of here. I'll just put a few of these brackets underneath here and should be good to go. Like I said, this isn't a work of art. This is a garage ghetto workbench. There it is, the ghetto workbench. It's pretty rough. sure plenty of woodworkers in the audience have lost their minds on how I built this, but for what I need, it serves its purpose perfectly. So that's it. The ghetto workbench is complete. It's pretty rough around the edges, as you saw, but for what I need, I think it'll be perfect. Might get a couple, like I said, little rubber feet or something on the bottom just to make it a little level. It's pretty level, but it's a little wobbly, just a touch. So that'll help with that. So let's move on to looking at the previous workbench here. I already cut it yesterday and stained it, and basically we just need to take that piece out and put in the new one, and that should be it. So yeah, basically I'm just going to take out this old piece of crap MDF here. I'm bringing the one that I cut yesterday. It's still a little tacky, but it should, well, I've already tested it, so I know should just fit right in here, like so. There. So a nice brand new workbench for the garage that's nicer than that grimy MDF one that I had on there. So thanks for watching the video, guys. Just my really amateur hour work at building a workbench and replacing the top on my existing workbench here. Like I said, this one will be more for product reviews, for stuff out in front of you guys in the audience. So that's what that's for. Serves its purpose. It's not pretty, it's not perfect, but it works for what I need, and that's all that matters. So guys, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Lots of cool stuff coming down the pipe soon. It is winter time now, so I'm gonna try to come up with ideas on weekly videos throughout the winter. Stuff like this, I don't know. Hope you guys like this video. I know it's not so mountain bike related, but there's mountain bikes in the background, and this is my mountain bike garage, so hopefully you guys liked it and watched it through to the end and didn't cringe too much. So anyways, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now. Hit subscribe down in the corner, hit the logo there. Really appreciate it, really appreciate everybody that has subscribed. And as always, keep your feet on the pedals.
Oh, shut your face, Toogie Howser!